What's good, family? Shout out to my doggy, Lord Mac, for boosting up your man the YB coin. Here we go then. We got some unfortunate and sad news regarding your man's Billy Joe Santa. Yeah, Billy Joe sausages. Yeah, Billy Joe sausages is big bitter. I spoke to some don in his camp, and essentially he telling me that he going through it. He's seething after Tyson Fury caught his dub against D-Whyte at the weekend. Now, people who know the channel will know that in the last week I did a video, again, breaking exclusive information that Billy Joe Saunders had confirmed his fallout with Tyson Fury on the basis that he'd refused to come and support Fury at the fight. Now, again, let me give you man some background here. What do we know? We know since pretty much time began 10 years ago, every single fight, when Billy Joe would fight, Fury would be there. When Fury would fight, Billy would be there. I told the story about back in, what year was it, 2017, when Fury made a comeback and Billy Joe was there supporting Fury and ended up getting into a squabble with Deontay Wilder and obviously threw the chicken at him. One of them ones. Yeah, we also know May 2021, last year, which indeed was the last time they were kind of friendly. That's where the fallout actually occurred. But again, Billy Joe was there talking about he was going to fill Canelo in, and every day on Instagram, Tyson Fury was with him singing, chanting, doing the most, yeah, gassing him up. Anyway, how the fallout actually occurred originally, for people who don't know, is on two elements. Number one was, of course, when Billy Joe jacked. Don't forget, Tyson Fury's built a big, built a big brand. His brand is the Warrior brand. His brand is, you do what you say you're gonna do. Yeah, Tyson Fury say he's Spartan. He say he get up. And guess what? When Fury goes down, he gets up. Yeah, Billy Joe Santa, Billy Joe Sausages, has been doing similar things to Tyson Fury in as much giving it the Warrior talk. But the difference is, number one, Tyson Fury, to be fair, has never really lambasted people. Billy Joe made it his business to get involved in things. For example, when Daniel Dubois so-called quit after having a bust eye, Billy Joe went out of his way to make videos saying, you're a quitter and you shouldn't do that, you're supposed to go out on your shield, etc, etc. Tyson Fury has never really done that. Tyson Fury has claimed he's a warrior and kept it personal. He's never gone out checking everyone else's warrior card. Yeah, Billy Joe made it his business to be the referee of warriorism. And it turned out, guess what? When his time came, when his warrior card was pulled, it ended up being a big pink hoe card instead. 100%. Canelo ended up pulling Billy Ho Sausages hoe card out for him. Popped his eye and Billy Joe didn't want no more. In fact, a minute later, Billy Joe didn't even go out for another round, and Mark Tibbs exposed the fact that Billy jacked, because Mark Tibbs was expecting Billy to go out there and back up the things he'd been saying. So why is that relevant? Well, that was the first point of contention, because Tyson Fury can't afford to be associated with someone who does all this woofing and then jacks. But to compound and make the situation more awkward, and this really was probably the final straw on Billy's behalf, yeah, was the fact that on that same night, when Billy jacked, his dad tried to rush into the ring, at which point the DAZN security ended up mosh-bashing him. Yeah, and there was a video that was leaked which pictured Tyson Fury standing idle, not really doing too much. So from what people have told me, obviously, especially in that alleged culture, the bare knuckle culture is, many, especially elders are revered and should be protected. Especially when you've been flying, Tyson Fury flew across the world to follow Billy Joe and vice versa. So Billy Joe expected that Fury would do a bit more. And look at Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, a few months ago, even came out and said, Tyson Fury didn't do anything to protect Billy Joe Santa's pops, etc, etc. So the point is that that's how they fell out. And also, the third point almost was the fact that after Billy Joe jacked, Tyson Fury, being disgusted, at the point that, or at the fact that you ain't do nothing. Yeah, you ain't do the things you said. You ain't do the things you said you're gonna do. What's Tyson Fury supposed to do? Sit there, hang around a loser, a jacking loser? Yeah, that would contravene everything that Tyson Fury spent 10 years developing a legacy for himself. So to hang around this man who contradicts all that don't make no sense. And on the night, so don't forget, people, Tyson Fury spent the whole week in there. He was there singing, and I think I've put in the video, you can see a picture of it. Tyson Fury and Billy Joe were there all week. Tyson Fury wasn't just there for the fight, he was there all week, gassing it up, singing and whatever else. The minute Billy Joe jacked, Fury was out of there. And in fact, to this day, Tyson Fury has never commented on that fight, ever. There was no post-fight interviews from Tyson Fury. He was out of there. He was one of the first people out of the arena, I've heard. He was straight on a plane and then left wherever it was in Texas and flew to, I think, Florida or Miami, something like that. Yeah, Miami, Florida. He was all the way out of there. Yeah, and I believe rightfully so. Why would you want to hang around that dude for? Loser looking ass dude. But from Billy Joe's point of view, there's two things that's gone on here. The reason Billy Joe big sour now, and we're going to get into the evidence proving it's sour, super bitter about the winner, because Tyson Fury stayed winning, and that burns Billy. Billy would love for Tyson to take a loss, because it'd make him feel more, oh yeah, now we're all the same. Nothing, as a saying, what is it? Losers love company. Yeah, 100%. That's their favourite. But like I was saying, in terms of from Billy Joe's point of view, so he's got the whole dad thing. So not only does Billy Joe quit, which is obviously psychologically a hard thing to deal with, he then finds out his so-called best friend didn't jump in to save him. But that really wasn't the final straw. Billy could have dealt with that, because to be fair, there was many other people there, and it was kind of difficult for Fury to get involved. So that wasn't really what it was. The problem was that it was obviously an amalgamation of all the different issues, but the real problem was the fact that when Billy Joe did quit, Tyson Fury turned his nose up and left. Yeah, now Billy Joe went to the hospital. Even Eddie Hearn, who was Billy Joe's promoter, he ended up going to the hospital. Tyson Fury was on a plane to Miami, he was out of there. And again, don't forget, people, Tyson Fury, this wasn't, I've heard people say in the past, oh, but what's Tyson Fury supposed to do, hold his hand? Well, think about it. Tyson Fury was holding his hand in the whole week build-up. Do you understand what I'm saying? And think about it from, Tyson Fury is not your friend. He's not Billy, like, you got to think about it from a personal point of view. If you had a friend and you'd been supporting each other at each other's fights, the whole week before, Tyson Fury was there in Texas supporting Billy Joe. On that basis, would you expect that man who's been in all the videos and been supporting you the whole week to then leave without saying a word? And from what I've heard, Tyson Fury ain't even sent no text. He left, and that was it. That was the last time they spoke. So, would you consider that? Would you not take that personally? So I get why Billy Joe taking it personal, but he needs to do some self-reflection and understand why. Because if it was me, I swear down, if I was out here talking about how hard I was, if I was out here lambasting Daniel Dubois, and then my time comes, my warrior card gets pulled, and I jack, I'd be if I was Billy Ho, I'd be reaching out saying, listen, Tyson, mate, I get why you had to do what you had to do. I get why you couldn't hang around a jacking loser. I get why that completely ruined your brand, and that'd make you a hypocrite. Because you can't say you're a warrior and then condone what Billy Ho did. And even Mark Tibbs, who doesn't have as strong opinions as Tyson, even Mark Tibbs kind of said he ain't working with Billy Ho no more. Because you can't go around. It's one thing to jack. It's another thing to go around almost bullying everyone else about it. And then your time comes and it's okay for you to jump out there at the first sign of trouble. Yeah? But anyway, now you've got the whole backstory. Let's go through the evidence here. Because in my video last week, when I broke the news, I spoke to someone, someone from Billy Joe's camp reached out to me and said, YB, I want you to be the first one to know. Billy Joe, for the first time really, won't be attending and won't be supporting Tyson Fury's fight because of the events that have happened in the past. Now, a few things that have happened, that fight, where it all kicked off, where Fury and Billy Joe's relationship broke down back in May 2021, Fury's had a fight in between. He had a fight against Wilder in October. So I'm going to show you now the evidence, because like I was saying, in the day, last week, people told me he weren't coming to support the event. But let me give you man the paper trail right now, real quick. So the first thing I'm going to show you, as an example to contrast the difference. So the first thing, what you'll see on your screen now, will be a picture from Twitter. And these pictures from Twitter show what the relationship from a social media point of view was like between Fury and Billy Joe. Now you've obviously seen all the pictures. We know in May 2021 when Billy Joe was fighting Alvarez, Tyson Fury was there. He was all in the videos and whatever else. But obviously we don't see their private text. So all we have is their behavior. All we can analyze really is their behaviors on social media. So let's take this for example. So we got February 2020. What's relevant about that? Well, February 2020 is the date that Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder. And you can see here Billy Joe is almost doing a promotional thing for Tyson Fury. He out here reposting Tyson Fury's BT documentary. That's the first one he retweets. He then retweets another thing, and this was actually after the fight. Billy Joe retweets a Frank Warren post which says, "This man is an inspiration, the WBC champion, the Ring Magazine champion, the lineal champion, and most importantly, Tyson Fury is the people's champion." And then again after the fight, Billy Joe retweets a photo of Fury knocking Deontay Wilder's lower bonds off. Yeah, Deontay Wilder's lower pointy Eritrean chin bonds gets clocked, and Billy Joe retweets that. Now, remember people, like I said, this was before the May 2021 events went down, when their relationship broke down. So you can see here is a clean paper trail of Billy Joe, and this has been going on, like I said earlier, since time began. Since time began, these two have been supporting each other. They've been physically going to each other's events. They've been on social media, retweeting their events and showing support and doing promotion and whatever else. Also, the final post was of Billy putting a video out predicting that Wilder would get smoked in the 7th round. So that shows you the past. So let's now contrast that. So the first date we've got since the May 21st, because Billy Joe hasn't fought since May 21st. So we can't actually show how Tyson Fury might support Billy Joe. But in fact, we already know how he would, because I just told you, in May when the fight happened, Billy Joe went to hospital. Tyson Fury had been in Texas supporting him the whole week, and he was out of there. And someone said, "Oh, YB, what did you expect him to hold his hand?" Well, if you've been holding someone's hand for the whole week in the build-up, and then they get injured, and you got Eddie Hearn talking about, "Oh, we're not sure if he's going to see again," all that, and you'd think that, okay, well, he's been there all week. You'd think that he'd maybe not go to the hospital, but you'd think maybe hang around a bit. Well, to be honest, why not go to the hospital? Eddie Hearn was there, the snake, yeah? And instead, Fury didn't even hang around in the city. He was out of there, straight to Miami. Within 12 hours of the video on it, within 24 hours, Tyson Fury was back on Instagram in Miami, out of there, because he was disgusted, and rightfully so. He ain't trying to support no quitting loser bully. He ain't trying to ruin his brand with that kind of stuff. When Fury get in them situation, he pick himself up 100%. He carry himself. That's the bottom line. Yeah, Fury could have rolled over, and yeah, Fury hasn't had that particular injury, but he'd been cut before, he'd been this, he'd been that, he crack on. No doubt about it, 100%. But anyway, so we know Tyson Fury ain't impressed, because if he was impressed, Tyson Fury could have hung around, he could have took photos, he could have been with Billy. He ain't trying to do that, he was out of there. So we do know from Tyson Fury's behalf how things have changed. And you'll also notice you never hear Tyson Fury even mention the guy. He dead to Fury. Oops. Anyway, let's now show you the evidence from October, because obviously October 2021 was when Fury fought Wilder in the trilogy. Now this was so bear in mind, I've just showed you the second fight. The second fight in 2020, Billy Joe's all on the social media giving Fury props and reacting to the fight. Now you can see this photo here, which is, I've highlighted the dates here, because the Fury versus Wilder fight, the final fight, the trilogy, which happened last year, was October 8th or October 9th. So this shows you, on Twitter obviously, it lists things chronologically. So you can see here, Billy Joe's got a post from the 1st of October, nothing to do with the fight, and a post from the 16th. So Billy didn't put nothing out. On that date, or anything, the week before and the week after that date, Billy ain't say nothing. No congrats, no promo build-ups. So contrast that to what he was doing before. You can see it's blatantly obvious. No support there. And there was none of it. In fact, you won't even find an interview if Billy Ho talking about it. Yeah, Billy Joe Santa ain't even talk about it. Completely, their relationship is completely defunct. Like I said in my video last week, Billy Joe confirmed there's a serious beef going on behind the scenes, from what I've heard. Anyway, let's now move on to this week. So this week, you can see Billy Joe, like his social media blank. Yeah, so there's been no build up before the fight. In fact, his last post was, well, there's one from December 18th, and another one from earlier in the month, April, and nothing about the fight. There you go then. So there was no build up supporting Fury, and there was no reaction afterwards. And in fact, I've also included some Instagram posts, which you'll see. And listen, bottom line is, Billy's been active. He's been active before the fight. He's been active after the fight. And these are just some examples he's been posting out. He posted out some weird, funny picture of some chick. He posted out some videos of him in the car, and so he's been active. Yeah, and you can see the dates. Some of the pictures I've included dates on the bottom, so you can see there's a date. These are all immediately after the fight, and I can't lie to you. I waited a few days. It's now Tuesday. It's been about 2-3 days since the fight took place. Billy ain't saying nothing about it. And in fact, one interesting post he put out was that if your absence brings me peace, I didn't lose you. Now that could be about other things. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. This came out though after the fight, and I reckon I've heard from people. They're telling me, Billy gonna be bitter, ain't he? Because I feel Billy feels, people have said to me, Billy feels as if Tyson's got what he should want. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all. In sport and in life, you can often feel like that. Oh, he's got everything I want. He the champ. He undefeated. He knocking people out. He getting better than ever. And then there's me. Got my eye popped and everyone thinks I'm a quitter. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones. So there's no real shock. So I can imagine Billy Joe almost like a scorned female right now. Yeah, he's sitting there retweeting posts about, if your absence brings me peace, I didn't lose you. That's what, I don't care what no one says. That's 100% about Tyson Fury. He's sitting there saying, he sees, don't forget as well, Tyson Fury out here posting all these pictures in the pub and having a great time, and he the champ, he on top, and you got Billy Joe, I didn't lose you, you lost him. Yeah, let's be real, Billy, you lost him, man. Stop capping. You capping right now. Yeah, and I get, you try and deal with it. I didn't lose you, Tyson, I didn't really lose you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Your absence, listen, scrap all that rubbish. Scrap all that femaleness, yeah? If your absence brings me peace. You ain't in no peace, Billy. You seething. Billy would love nothing more than for Tyson to get clocked, and for Tyson to be perceived to be dragged down to his level. That's what Billy really want right now. But he can't get it, because Fury, from so far at least, he getting better. He's smoking everyone pack right now. And Billy feels that Tyce has got what he should have. Yeah? And think about all them years, Billy for a long time was supposed to be the second coming, wasn't he? Let's be real now. People saw him as a second coming. And from what it appears, Tyson Fury may well be the second coming as far as boxing goes. Billy, ain't no one saying that, because he's cherry been popped already. So really, when I think about it, before the last few years, it was always Billy and Tyson, wasn't it? In terms of British boxers, in terms of high quality British boxers, even though I never really rated Billy, still, that was always the conversation. It was always them two, as if, and in fact, I think even John Fury said once that, it's these two are Billy's the best 160 pounder and Tyson's the best, do you know what I'm saying? And their leagues above, they're always seen as the same. Well, oops. It's now obvious that Billy ain't got that class. Simple as that. He just ain't, and it's eating him up inside. It scorns him inside. Yeah, he want to be. Well, he knows he will never be the Tyson Fury level now. So instead, the only thing he can hope for is for Fury to be dragged down to his level. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Because there's no way You exhibit all these behaviours for all these years, supporting the events. Now all of a sudden, you ain't got nothing to say. But before, you was all in there. So, and the reason I do this video is because people told me, YB, you haven't got no sources. How do you know they fell out? How do you know this? How do you know that? Listen, I got sources. Oops. People talk to me. Yeah? They know who running this game on YouTube. People, and that's what I tell people, listen, if you got you man, all you boxers out there, yeah, you need to watch your camps, because it's not my fault. If you've got a whole bunch of chatty patty cats in your camp, that's on you, it's not on me. Yeah, if your chatty patty friends come talking to me, that's on you. Sort your circle out, because listen, people love to talk to the YB. Yeah, he got all the leaks right now, no doubt about it. He be dropping all the news. So Billy, as you've seen by the title, confirmed his fallout, refused to acknowledge Fury's success. And it's not like, as well, it's a bit like I did a video the other day on AJ. AJ, another one. AJ acting like the fight didn't happen. This was the biggest fight in Britain for the last few decades, yeah? And all of a sudden, AJ, who again, when AJ was on top, yeah, he'd always be commenting on the latest fight. Either calling Fury out, saying, yeah, let's do it next, or whatever. All of a sudden now, the British bit, and the other thing as well is the fact that Billy Joe was able to support Tyson Fury when he's in America. This was in the UK. So of all the fights you'd think that Billy Joe would be involved in, it'd be this one. Same as AJ. I remember AJ was fighting in America and he was trying to make the Fury fight all the way from America. Tweeting Fury and whatever else. Now though, we've just had the biggest British fight in history, and these two cats, you got AJ's nothing to say, acting like nothing happened. Same as Billy. Billy's actually, if you follow his social media, he went months without posting anything. Now all of a sudden, he posting every day on Instagram, little videos and whatnot. It's almost, well, it is connected, I don't care what no one says. Everyone's trying to act as if, they didn't know it happened. Oh, what happened? No, what fight happened? Yeah? That's 100%. They're trying to act like it never happened, and Billy let it slip when he put that post out today about, if your absence brings me peace, I didn't lose you. That's how he let it slip. That shows you all this. And people, we know in relationships, people do things like this. They put out indirects, yeah, and all these. So Tyson, AJ, for the last few days has been putting out indirects. AJ put a load of videos laughing like he's really happy. He ain't happy. He burning inside. Simple as that. That's a fact. Same as Billy. Billy put a load of videos out all of a sudden. Went from nothing to putting a load of videos out. He burning inside. It cuts him deep. What can I say? Yeah, that's what envy is the most. Yeah, it burns you. Envy burns the soul, and you best believe Billy Ho's soul burning right now. He wanna be a winner bad. He wants to know what it feels like to be on top like that, and he ain't never gonna get it. It's simple as that. Yeah, he knows it as well. So all I can say really is pray for Billy right now. He going through it 100%.